Hello Scrum Masters Elite_UK team. I'd like to subscribe to the channel and share some calm, in-depth analytical perspectives on rugby, focusing on consistency and the long-term strategic approach of the England national team under Steve Borthwick, in the seemingly quiet context surrounding Steve Borthwick's preparation to announce the England squad for the Six Nations. The more you read into it, the clearer it becomes that this is not some meaningless dullness, but rather the result of a long-term, purposeful, and strategically clear building process. As someone analyzing this for you, I can distinctly sense the difference in Borthwick's leadership philosophy compared to his predecessors, especially Eddie Jones, and it is precisely this difference that shapes the current identity of the England team. First and foremost, the most striking feature is stability. While the media and fans are eagerly waiting for shock selections in the squad, surprising omissions or completely unknown faces, Borthwick has chosen a contrary path. He does not seek attention through controversial decisions, nor does he intentionally create drama. As the article points out, his squad contains very few surprises, but that doesn't equate to conservatism or a lack of creativity, rather. It signifies a system that is gradually taking shape. When a coach can announce a squad that most people can predict in advance, it shows that they have built a structure that is strong and trustworthy enough to avoid having to tear down and rebuild after each season.
Comparing this to Fabien Galthié's approach with the French team further highlights Borthwick's style. Galthié's bold decision to drop key players like Damien Penaud or Gregory Aldrit created media shock, but it also shows that France is in a different phase, one where they are willing to take risks to restructure. In contrast, Borthwick doesn't need, and doesn't want, to follow that path. The current England team is more stable than its direct rivals in the Six Nations Championship race, and this stability provides a considerable psychological advantage. It helps players understand their roles better, reduces the pressure to prove themselves in every match, and creates long-term cohesion between the different units. One thing that particularly impresses me is how Borthwick justifies why he is in this position. He is not Eddie Jones, and that is both a fact and a statement. Jones brought a lot of emotion to the England team, from excitement and curiosity to controversy and fatigue. He liked making choices that sparked discussions, introducing names that fans had to Google, or aggressively dropping key players to send a message. While this approach sometimes led to success, it also carried significant risks, especially when the timing was wrong. Borthwick, however, is different. He doesn't need his players to live in a state of constant unease. He doesn't use discomfort as a management tool. This makes the current England team feel easier to breathe for both the players and the fans. Instead of creating a tense atmosphere, he focuses on building trust and continuity. Looking back at Jones' preparation for the 2019 World Cup, his decision to select 18 players for the Six Nations, only for none of them to go to Japan, shows how large the experimentation and changes were. That boldness nearly cost Jones his job. Borthwick seems to have learned that lesson, though not from Jones himself. The current England squad, according to the article, can be seen as a draft for the 2027 World Cup. This is a very thought-provoking detail. When a coach can look ahead to 4 years and clearly envision who will be with him, it shows that he is managing both the present and the future well. The summer tours, the revival of England A, and the involvement of key players with the British Irish Lions all contribute to reducing the likelihood of surprise, patchwork selections. Of course, not everything is perfect. Borthwick still faces injuries, and there are positions that cause him headaches, such as right back or backup options. But unlike in the past, he doesn't feel forced to make mass, bloodletting decisions. The big names of the previous generation, from the Vunipola brothers, Manu Tuilagi to Courtney Lawes and Johnny May, have quietly closed their international chapters. Owen Farrell's departure has also inadvertently lightened Borthwick's burden. Instead of being the one to end an era, he's been given the opportunity to transition to a new generation more naturally and smoothly. From the fans' emotional perspective, this might bring a sense of regret. Rugby, as the article points out, is a sport that thrives on excitement and needs stories to discuss. The squad announcements under Eddie Jones always carried a sense of suspense. Even drama. With Borthwick, the Friday announcement might pass relatively calmly. But this calmness is not a sign of weakness, it is proof of a solid foundation that doesn't need to be flaunted. Overall, my impression is one of respect for Steve Borthwick's way of working. He does not try to be the center of attention, does not chase fleeting moments of fame, but patiently builds a strong team that other opponents will envy. Perhaps under his leadership, England won't produce media-shocking moments, but in return, there is steadiness, clarity, and a relatively bright path leading to the 2027 World Cup. In a sporting world increasingly dominated by noise and public pressure, I find this approach, far from being dull, very much worthy of admiration.
Hello and goodbye to the Scrum Masters Elite_UK team. Thank you for accompanying with insights that are quiet yet analytical, focusing on stability, trust, and the long-term path of the England team towards the 2027 World Cup.